Hello, I'm Will, this is Mike, we're the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And today we're bringing you issue 73 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms magazine. This issue came with Neave Blacktalon, a special character for the Stormcast Eternals. If you'd like to see what she can do on the battlefield, you can skip ahead to our battle report using the timecode in the description or the chapter bars, but we'll have a look at her lore and the rest of the contents of the issue first. So here is her background. She is one of the most renowned hunters among the Hammers of Sigmar Stormcast Eternals, belonged to a tribe in Giran, the Realm of Life, and is now reforged as one of Sigmar's premier assassins and hunters who has slain many enemy leaders across the mortal realms. She's part of the wider kind of warriors called the Knights Zephyros. It also mentions here the Blight War, where she clashed with Nurgle's gardener himself, Horticulus Slimux. Then we have background on the Realm of Chaos, which is where the gods of chaos live, a sort of hellish dimension with various sections that reflect the characters of the different gods of chaos themselves. So, for example, Khorne's realm is one of battle and fire and brimstone. There's a bit more on the next page about the denizens of those realms and how they interact with the rest of the realms, and also the Varan Spire, which is Archaon the Everchosen's fortress, in the 8 points. Then we learn about the Squigs of the Gloomskite Gits. Squigs are very angry, very hungry creatures of little brain. Some of them essentially no more than a mouth on legs, but the Gloomskite Gits have managed to tame various species of these, and they're actually all sorts of different Squigs that have various functions that they have bred for all sorts of bizarre purposes. On the next page you can see some of the particular ones that they take to war, from the smallest, the cave squigs, up to some of the largest, like the mangler squigs, which they essentially just let loose to cause carnage. Then we have some more of the Book of the Dead, the in-universe look at the forces of death, looking at the Soulblight Gravelords, which we learned about a couple of issues ago. So there's some drawings there of the different kinds of Soulblight vampires themselves. Then the build guide for Neave Blacktalon. She comes on a single sprue, it only goes together in one way, so it's all fairly straightforward. But what it does suggest is actually leaving her head clipped to the sprue, so cut away some bits of it, because then you can paint it on the sprue, which will make it a bit easier. And then for the painting guide, she's much the same as the rest of the Stormcast, she just has a big cloak like the Fast Riders. Much the same, and you can see there the head kept separate and painted separately. And there she is finished to match the rest of our Stormcast. This issue also came with a fold-out section, which tells the story of how the Ogors of the Tarkhan Warglut in Halos, the Land of the Dead, in the realm of Shyish, came to blows with the Ossiarch Bone Reapers after they refused to pay their tithes of bone. On the other side, there's just a showcase of some models. We've got some Bone Reapers on the left and some Ogors on the right. Anyway, that's it for the contents of this issue, so now we'll head into our battle, and where we get to look at Neave Blacktalon's rules and see what she can do.
We can have a look at Neave Blacktalon's warscroll, and she sees she has similar stats to other Stormcast heroes, except she's movement 6, and she has 6 wounds rather than 5 and 5 respectively, and she has a 3+ save, bravery 9. She's armed with a bolt storm pistol, the same one the Fast Riders use, and the whirlwind axes, which have a range of 1 inch, 7 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, martial on rend, and 1 damage. She has a few abilities as well. Lightning Fast Strikes gives her an extra attack if she charged that turn. Tireless Hunter allows her to run and still shoot in the same turn. Nemesis means if she's targeting a hero, her weapons do 2 damage, or do an extra damage. And the Wind Rider ability means that when a friendly Stormcast Eternals unit uses the Ride the Wind's Etheric ability, so I think the only one with that we have is the Lord Arcanum on Griffcharger, she can effectively follow along with them, so she can be taken off the battlefield and then redeployed within 9 inches of the model that rode the Wind's Etheric, but still 3 inches away from any enemy models. And she can't move or charge if she does that though. There's a little tutorial on how Nemesis works. As you might expect, she's ideal for killing heroes, and a tutorial on how to use Wind Rider there. And a little short story to get into today's game. The Nighthaunt have been pushing back the Stormcast, but unbeknownst to this Knight of Shrouds, he's left himself undefended, allowing himself to be taken out by Neave Blacktalon so quickly he barely even realises she's there. And in our strategic overview, the Stormcast have decided to split their forces in 2, so a ranged force led by Lord Ordinator has been holding the line against the main Nighthaunt army. Some other Stormcast met a gathering of Nighthaunt in the Gatelands with some strange cargo, which caused a great burst of necromantic power to be unleashed. And then down there at the bottom, Neave Blacktalon is leading a force to strike against the Nighthaunt command. And we have our unit choices. Again, it's a little bit there about how the Stormcast have divided their forces in 2, whereas the Nighthaunt have been doing very well on the battlefield, are now so spread out that it's actually left Rexxar dangerously undefended. So we're on to today's battle plan, the Hunt. And this is actually pretty much the same one as the one from issue 70 when Kurdos Valentian arrived, but the objectives are flipped. So this time the Stormcast are trying to hunt Nighthaunt heroes while the Nighthaunt are trying to hold the line. So once again we're on the Realm of Fire, so using those rules. We have the 4 battle mats set out with 2 objectives, one each 16 inches away from the short edge of the board and otherwise in the middle, and then each side has a 9-inch territory either side. We're going to set up 4 pieces of terrain from the collection. The Stormcast player will start deploying first, and then for our victory conditions, if a Nighthaunt hero is slain, the Stormcast get 2 victory points. If the Nighthaunt general is slain, they get an additional 3 victory points. And then at the end of each of their turns, the Nighthaunt player scores a victory point for each objective they control. And the game will last for 5 battle rounds, as it usually does. And our armies, we have 3 hero choices and 4 troops choices each. So we'll go over the army overviews and come back after we finish deploying. So I'll have a look at the Nighthaunt army I've picked first. It's going to be looking very familiar to me now. I have a Shroud Guard battalion with the Knight of Shrouds, who will also be my general. And then I've got the Guardian of Souls, the Spirit Torment, a unit of Spirit Hosts, and the Hex Race. So as I said, the Knight of Shrouds will be my general. He'll have Master of the Black Arts as his command trait, and also give him the Tomb Blade, because that's handy for regaining wounds, and I'll give the Spirit Torment the Black Amulet. It is very tempting to give my general the Cloak of Mists and Shadows, but I think it's a bit lame, because it basically makes it impossible for the Stormcast to kill him, except with range attacks. Now for the Stormcast army.
Well, we've got Neave Blacktalon because she's new. We've also got the Knight Questor in the middle because he's quite good at killing characters, and a Knight Incantor because they're always handy. For units, I've got 2 units of 5 Sequitors, a unit of 5 Judicators, and the Fast Riders because we don't see them very often. They fit well with Neave Blacktalon as a theme. Also, Sanson's Bird can hopefully peck the Nighthaunt generals to death with a few mortal wounds. My general will be the Knight Questor. He'll have the Tenacious command trait for an extra wound. He'll also have the Relic Sword for extra damage on his weapon.
A quick overview of the battlefield first. You can see just there with the 2 cogwheel thingies, there's one of the objectives. In the top left we have a Arcane Azurite Ruin. In the centre of the board we have a Damned Storm Vault. And over to the right you can see the second objective. Down in the bottom right we have the Timeworn Ruins, which are always deadly. And then in the top right is a mystical Fallen Sigmar statue. Over on the left I deployed my Shroud Guard battalion all at once, so it's just a line of the 2 units of 5 Blade Geists with the Knight of Shrouds behind, and the Guardian of Souls behind as well, and the Spirit Host on the right. And then on my right flank I have the Hex Race with the Spirit Torment behind. Oh, and then for the Stormcast deployment,
going from left to right, we've got the Fast Riders in the front row with Neave Blacktalon on their left. Behind them is a unit of Sequitors, then the Knight Questor in the middle next to another unit of Sequitors with the Knight Incantor behind them. And on my left flank, or your right, the 5 Judicators. So I've skewed towards one side of the board, essentially.
So rolling off for the first battle round.
Let's draw.
It's a tie. I finished deploying first, so I win the tie. And I think I will go first. So I head into Nighthaunt turn 1. So my hero phase, I gain a command point and go up to 2. So I start with 1 for my warscroll battalion. And then the Guardian of Souls will try and cast Mystic Shield. Needing a 5, gets it with a 7.
I'm just out of range to unbind.
Yeah, so I'll put that on one of the unit of Blade Geists. So I put Mystic Shield on the left-hand unit of Blade Geists, and then in my movement phase the Blade Geists ran. Didn't really need to, just to try and get half a dozen or so on the objective, with the Knight of Shrouds coming in behind. Guardian of Souls lagging a little bit behind, so he's a little bit harder to charge, and the 3 Spirit Hosts following up as well. And the Spirit Torment ran. I did spend a command point to make it a 6, so you can come over to the left-hand side of the board. Over on the right, the Hex Race are just going to move up to take that objective. That'll be it for a very quick first turn. I hold both objectives, so I gain 2 victory points, and we'll head into Stormcast turn 1.
So I gain a command point as well, and then the Knight Incantor will try and do Spirit Storm, needing a 7. Getting a 7.
Try and unbind with the Knight of Shrouds, needing an 8, getting a 9.
And then we've moved up. Pretty much everything ran. The Sequitor was in the middle there behind the Storm Vault, rolled a 6, as did the Knight Incantor, so they got nice and speedy forward. The other unit of Sequitors, I did spend my command point because they rolled a 1 and I wanted them to be in the front. We've got the sort of Vanguard units, Neave Blacktalon and the Fast Riders on the left there as you see it, and the Judicators just moved up behind. So at the start of the shooting phase, I'm not going to forget it this game, we'll do Sanson Fast Rider's Bird ability. He's going to try and peck the Knight of Shrouds. On 4+, he takes a mortal wound. He does.
He ignores it on a 6. He does.
And then the Judicators are going to fire at the unit of Blade Geists that don't have Mystic Shield on them, so that's the ones on the right. Shockbolt bow on a 3+. Oh, it missed. Other bows, prime hits on a 2, the others on 3s. Well, they all hit at least. 3s to wound. 2 wounds.
4+ saves, made both.
Then the Fast Riders and Neave Blacktalon are both out of range, and I can't declare any charges because I ran, so that's the end of my turn.
So now we're rolling off for battle round 2.
Oh, try and get mine in the box. It's a draw again.
So I will, so since I went first previous turn, I get to choose, and I will choose to go first in battle round 2. So we'll head into Nighthaunt, turn 2. So I gain a command point and go up to 2, and I'll start spellcasting with the Guardian of Souls, who's going to try and cast Fireball. He needs a 5, gets it with a 7.
I'll try and unbind that. Oh, no, with a 7.
I'm going to put it on this unit of Secretors here, the ones with the prime with the hammer. So it's D3 mortal wounds, just 1. And then the Knight of Shrouds is going to try and cast Arcane Bolt. Once again needing a 5. No, fails with a 3. So for my movement, on the left, my army is bravely running away. We're going to abandon that objective for now. I'll still hold it at the end of this turn, but we're just going to move away from the advancing golden wall. But you can just see there at the top right, the Hex Race are actually going to move around the flank of the Stormcast force to try and engage those Adjudicators. So we have no shooting, but the Hex Race are going to try and charge. Oh, a 10 is definitely enough to get them into something. So they'll go into the Adjudicators like that. And they'll actually pile in around the Adjudicators a little bit as well. So you have 11 scythe attacks hitting on 4s and 6 to do mortal wounds. 4 ordinary hits and 3 mortal wounds. These ordinary hits wound on 3s, getting 4 more. That's range -1.
4 5+ saves. Made none of them, so that's 7 damage for so far.
Then we have 10 attacks from horses hitting on 4s, getting 3, and wounding on 5s, getting 1.
So another 4+ save. Made that.
So that's just 7 damage in total to the Adjudicators.
So we'll remove all the ones with normal bows, and then the prime will take a wound. And the 2 remaining ones pile in. They have 2 attacks back, which hit on 3s. 1, wounds on a 4. That's a wound.
4+ for a Hex Wraith. Made it.
And then obviously they're going to have to take a battle shock test. They lost 3. So 5 or 6 is bad, but I can re-roll because of my allegiance ability. I'll re-roll. There we go.
And that'll be the end of my turn. I still hold both objectives. So I get another 2 victory points to go up to 4. But we're on to Stormcast turn 2.
So in my command phase, I gain a command point, and then we're going to try and cast Fireball with the Knight Encounter, not Spirit Storm on this occasion. Needing a 5, getting a 9.
Yep, try and unbind that with the Guardian of Souls, I suppose. Needing a 10. Nope.
I'll put that on the Hex Wraith, so D3 mortal wounds. 2.
Oh, we'll kill 1. I'll take away that guy on the end.
Then in the movement phase, everybody ran. I did have to spend a command point again for the Knight Questor this time to let him keep up, but the line has swung round the terrain a little bit. Fortunately, even the Fast Riders are a bit slower, so they're not in range to shoot. And the Adjudicators ran and retreated from combat. They're going to head over to the other objective because it just forces the Hex Race to deal with them just to avoid losing that objective. So obviously the Adjudicators can't shoot, but Fast Rider's Bird still works. He'll do that on the Night Shrouds again. On a 4+. Oh, again.
Ignoring it on a 6.
No.
Yes.
But that's my turn, and we ran again, so no charging.
But you do take control of that left-hand objective.
That is true.
So we're rolling off for battle round 3. Well, I win again, so I'll choose to go first again. We'll head into Nighthaunt turn 3. So I gain a command point and go up to 3. The Guardian of Souls will try and cast Fireball on a 5. Gets it with a 12.
Can't unbind that, except with the Void Storm Scroll. I'm not going to use that.
Okay, I'll put it on the same unit of Secretors as I did last time, so D3 mortal wounds. 2 this time.
So this Secretor dies, and then the mortal wound on the other one on the other end.
And the Night Shroud will try and cast Arcane Bolt, needing a 5. Gets it with a 5.
Well, I'll try and unbind that, which I do on a 6.
Well, you might have guessed what I was going to do on my movement phase. We're going to bravely run away again. All running, fleeing to the hills like the cowardly Nighthaunt we are. And then up in the top, the Hex Race are going to go after the Adjudicators. All of them except the one who's hasn't got a hood on will be able to bomb the Adjudicators as they fly over. So on a 5+, they might take some mortal wounds. No mortal wounds there, but no shooting for me. So in the charge phase, the Hex Race will try and charge the Adjudicators. A 6 is enough. So they'll just come in to head off the Adjudicators from the objective, and they'll just pile in around as well to fully cut them off. So only 9 scythe attacks this time, hitting on 4s and 6s do mortal wounds. There's only 1 6 and 2 ordinary hits. Ordinary hits wound on 3s, they do.
2 5+. Failed both, so that's 3 wounds, so they're dead.
Let's have to wipe out the Adjudicators. But again, that's it for my turn. I still hold the right hand objective, so get another victory point and go up to 5. And we'll be into Stormcast turn 3.
I think Fireball is still a better option because there's not really much within 18 for Spirit Storm. Needing a 5, getting a 9.
Trying to combine with the Guardian of Souls, needing a 10. You.
D3 mortal wounds to the Hex Race again. 1.
Put that on the one that's furthest from the objective.
And we don't really have much choice but to keep running, so everybody's done so. Again, I had to spend a command point because Neave Blacktalon this time tripped over a rock or something, so I had to roll to keep her up, use that to help her keep up. And that's what the line looks like at the end of my movement phase. Fast Strider is still within 18 to try and attack the Night Shrouds with the bird. 4 plus again.
Are we on a 6? No, he takes a mortal wound. Down to 5.
That's it for my turn again.
So we're rolling off for battle round 4. Oh, the Stormcast win.
Well, we're definitely going first.
Yeah, so Stormcast turn 4.
We're in range for a Spirit Storm this turn, so we'll try that. Needing a 7. Oh, never mind. So everybody's moved up normally except for the Fast Striders. They did run. Only one, but they've got themselves in range to shoot. So there will be some charging in a minute, but in the shooting phase, we'll do the Fast Striders first. They're all in range of the unit of Blade Geists on the left. But we've got the bird first, which will try and go for the Night Shrouds again on a 4 plus. Oh, it succeeded again.
Ignoring on a 6. Nope. It's down to 4.
Then the shot at the Blade Geists. 6 shots hitting on 3s. 5 hits. Wounding on 4s. 1.
4 plus. Nope. Ignoring damage on a 5, because Shroud Guard, yes.
Now Neave Blacktalon will have a go as well. 2 shots hitting on 3s. They do.
Shooting at the same target.
Yeah. She's slightly better, she wounds on 3s. Still only gets 1.
4 plus save. Made it this time.
And then we'll start charge phase with Neave Blacktalon, because she's got the longest distance to go. So I think she needs about a 7. She gets a 7. That's not quite enough, so we'll have to re-roll for a command point. She needs an 8. Oh, I guess an 11. So she'll end her charge there. Then the unit of Sequitors here will have a go. They roll a 9.
That's definitely enough.
They finish like that. Night Questor next. He rolls as 8. Ending there. And the other unit of Sequitors. 7. So they're like that. And leaving a little bit of space for the Knight Incantor to make a long charge. Ooh, an 8 might be enough. So successful charges at least. She makes it into the middle. And then we're on to the fight phase. In the fight phase, I will put power to weapons on both units of Sequitors.
Yeah, and the Knight of Shrouds is going to put Lord of Geists on both units of Blade Geists as well.
And I'll pick this unit here of Sequitors to go first. Obviously all their attacks into this unit of Blade Geists here. This unit's prime has the Great Mace, so 5 attacks on Great Maces. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling. We've got 6, which is a D3, and re-roll all those misses.
3 plus a D3.
So just 4. Wounding on 3s, 3 wounds.
3 4 pluses. Made 2. 2 damage apiece, ignoring on 5s. Don't ignore any, so that's 2 dead Blade Geists so far.
2 normal maces, 3s re-rolling. Re-roll all of that. That's better, that was a hit, so that's 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, just the 1.
4 plus. Made it. Now, I'm going to kill these 2 on the end. Can't get Neave out of range. I'm going to pick the other unit of Blade Geists to go, and they're going to put all their attacks on the Sequitors fighting them. So the Blade Geists have 15 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling everything because the Spirit Torment is nearby. Good job we can re-roll everything. It looks like a lot of misses so far. 6 misses re-rolling. So that's another 5 hits, so 14 in total. And these wound on 2s thanks to the Guardian of Souls. Getting 11.
11 5 plus saves, re-rolling 1s. 1 1 to re-roll, but only 2 successes. 3 successes, so that's 8 wounds. Well, that certainly hurt. We'll obviously lose those, and we will leave that 1 Great Mace there. We'll do Neave Blacktalon next. She can pile in to get in range of those Blade Geists. 8 attacks because she charged, hitting on 3s. Only 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. 4 wounds.
4 plus saves. Made 3. And these are only 1 damage, so ignoring it on a 5. No, it's another dead Blade Geist. And I'll take away the one that's engaged with her. And then I'll pick the 2 remaining Blade Geists in that unit to fight, and they'll attack the Sequitors. 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling. Now we roll the 3 misses. Yeah, so that's 6 hits. Wounding on 2s. Getting 5.
5 plus is re-rolling 1s. Oh, made 3, but no re-rolls, so 2 wounds. That one dies. I'll do the Knight Incantor next. She has a 2-inch weapon range, so she can hit these 2 Blade Geists, trying to let the Night Questor through. 3 attacks on 3s. Oh, only 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Oh, it didn't.
So I'll pick the Guardian of Souls next, and if he piles in just a little bit to the left, he can actually get in range to fight the Sequitors there. 3 attacks on 3s, re-rolling 1s. 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. 2 wounds. It's -1 rend.
5s, re-rolling 1s. 2 1s. Oh, it's 2 successes.
Good job the shield guy was still alive.
Well, I'll do the net quest, or unfortunately he's not going to be able to get through to the heroes, so he'll just pile in a tiny bit and attack the blade geists in front of him too. He has 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. Well, he hits 4 times. Wounding on 3s, 6s are...
3 damage.
Well, yeah, extra damage. Oh, well, normal wounds, all of them, but they're all 2 damage because of his artifact.
Yeah, so 4+ saves, made 2. So these are 2 damage apiece, ignoring on 5s. No, that does wipe out the unit. So unit of blade guys is destroyed. So the spirit hosts are engaged, but they can't get anywhere to fight because they're closest to that Sequitor. So we'll just, and the only remaining fighter is that Sequitor, so he gets to fight those blade geists. 2
attacks on 3s, re-rolling misses. Re-roll that 2. Oh, still missed. Wounds on a 3. No, it didn't.
Well, that's it for all the fighting. But in the Battletop phase, I will use the Spirit Torment to heal the Knight of Shrouds, because I would have hoped to bring back some blade guys, but there aren't any left to do that. And then that Sequitor has to make a morale test.
I lost 4, so a 4+ is bad, but I can re-roll because of the battle trait. No, 5, he runs away.
And that's it at the end of Stormcast turn 4. On to Nighthaunt turn 4. Going to start by getting a command point, go back up to 2. Try and cast Fireball with the Guardian of Souls, needing a 5. Getting it with a 6.
I'll try and bind that normally, getting a 7. Getting an 8.
And then the Knight of Shrouds will try and cast Arcane Bolt. Gets it with a 6.
Yeah, you can have that.
Okay. Well, I'll use my Arcane Bolt to kill off that one Sequitor with a shield. So there's a fair amount of movement. Up at the top, the Hex Wraiths will run. They only got a 1, but they're going to head towards the left-hand objective. The Blade Geist fell back from the Knight Incantor. They're going to try and charge the Fast Riders. The Knight of Shrouds has moved over the Sequitors again, try and charge the Fast Riders. The Guardian of Souls fell back and ran, and I used a command point to make it a 6, so you can get a long way away. Spirit Torment also ran, get into the fight, and then the Spirit Hosts are stuck in combat, so they're going to stay there. And then I'll go for the charge phase. I'll start with the Blade Geists first. They get an 8, that's enough, and I'll do the Knight of Shrouds here as well. He gets an 8, that's also enough. There's my 2 charges, and in the fight phase I will actually spend a command point to give the Blade Geist Lord of Geist, because I want to wipe out the Fast Riders. So we've got 20 attacks from the Blade Geist, because I get an extra 1 for charging, and another extra 1 for Lord of Geists. And these hit on 3s, rerolling everything. 15 hits so far, 5 rerolls. Ooh, only getting 1 more, 16 hits. Wounding on 2s, getting 13 wounds on the Fast Riders.
13 5+. Oh, I made a fair few.
You made a lot.
I think they're only taking 5 wounds.
Yeah, the one Samson Fast Rider alive on 1 wound.
Well,
Fast Rider himself stands firm.
The Knight Questor, with his magic 6-inch pile-in move towards the closest hero, can get in range of the Spirit Torment. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, re-rolling there because he's attacking a hero. Oh, didn't need to. Wounding on 3s, 6 is an extra damage. Okay, well, he's angry.
Well, I'll do these separately. So the two damage ones, failed both of those. The 3 damage ones, made 1, so 7 damage. 7 damage, ignoring on 6s, don't ignore any. Spirit Torment goes down. Spirit Torment goes down. And that's 2 victory points for the Stormcast. Up to 2. I'll pick next, I'll do the Spirit Hosts. So the Spirit Hosts will pile into the Knight Incantor, only 2 of them can get in. So 12 attacks, hitting on 5, 6s do mortal wounds. Well, there's 2 6s and 3 ordinary hits. Ordinary hits wound on 4s, 2 wounds.
So 2 3+ saves. Oh, failed 1, so she's actually down to 2 wounds. And I suppose Fast Rider will attack back before he gets killed. I'll just see he can't reach the Knight of Shrouds, unfortunately, so 3 attacks on the Blade Guys, hitting on 4s, 2 hits, wounding on 3s, 1 wound.
1 4+, failed, ignores on a 5, new, right over there. Then the Knight of Shrouds can go and pile in. 4 attacks with his sword on 3s, they all hit. Wounding on 2s, 2 wounds, -1.
5+. Oh, no, he does. And finally the Knight Incantor will hit back. 3 attacks on 3s, they all hit, they wound on 3s, 1.
4+, no.
D3 damage, 3.
That kills the Spirit Host. Well, that is going to be it now at the end of the turn. I still hold 1 objective, go up to 6 victory points, and we're rolling off for the final battle round.
Oh,
where you win.
I do, I rolled a 6.
Yeah, Stormcast win the roll off with a 6.
So Stormcast turn 5. We'll try and cast a Spirit Storm, needing a 7. Getting an 8.
Try and unbind, needing a 9. Nope.
It's mortal wound to everything then.
Yep, so Spirit Host will take a mortal wound. Night of Shadows ignores on a 6, no. Blade Geist on a 5, yes. Guardian of Souls on a 6, no. And a Hexwraith gets caught on the blast as well.
The only 2 units I have able to move are Neave Blacktalon and the 2 Secretors. I spent my command point on Blazing Fervour on Neave as well to give her an extra +1 to her charge roll. The other 2 will stay in melee because the Night Questor can actually zoom all the way over to the Guardian of Souls from there. But in the shooting phase, Neave Blacktalon is going to shoot at the Night Shrouds. 2 shots hitting on 4s because he does get Look Out Sir, so just 1 hit anyway. Wounds on a 3, that's not a wound. Straight to the charge phase, her charge roll is going to be an 8 with the +1. That's enough to get her to there, and then the Secretors will charge as well to try and keep those blade dice off her back. Yeah, they roll enough. So they finish their charge like that. They'll do powered weapons in the fight phase because they don't have any shields. And then we're going to do the Night... But we'll do the Night Questor first because it stops the Spirit Hosts from bringing him out of melee. With a 6-inch pile-in move, he can get to there and fight the Guardian of Souls. Yeah, and that's because he can pile towards the closest hero rather than the closest model, or at least that's how the magazine explains it. 4 attacks on 3s, re-rolling, so because he's fighting a hero, so they all hit. Wounding on 3s, 6 is an extra damage. 3 wounds, no extra damage.
3 4+. Ignoring on 6s. No, Guardian of Souls goes down. Another 2 victory points for the Stormcast. So the Guardian of Souls goes down. Well, I'll pick the Knight of Shroudstio and he'll attack Neave. He'll pile in around her first. 4 attacks with his sword on 3s. Getting 2, it's about as well as he usually does. And 3s. Nope. 2 attacks from his horse as well. No, never mind.
Well, we'll just attack back with her because it's the important thing. 8 attacks because she charged on 3s. Oh, still missed 3 times. Wounding on 3s. Oh, 5 wounds. These are 2 damage because it's a hero.
Yep. 5 4+. I made 3, so he'll live.
Ignoring on 6s.
Yeah, 4 damage ignoring on 6s. No. He's down to 1. I'll do the Blade Geist next, attacking the Secretors. 8 attacks hitting on 3s, getting 4. Wounding on 3s, 2.
5s to save. Well, failed both though, so 1 dies.
Not the Prime.
And we'll attack back with the Knight Incantor. 3 attacks on 3s, 2 hits, wounding on 3s, and 1.
4+. Made it. And then I've only got the Spirit Host left, so they'll attack the Knight Incantor. 12 attacks on 5s, 6 would be mortal wounds. Well, there's 3 6s, so she's gone. Mortal wounded to death. And then the Secretor Prime.
3 attacks on 3s, re-rolling. Good thing. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, that's just a 1.
4s, made it. But that's going to be it for combat, and it's my turn next. So what's going to happen is I'll fall back the Knight of Shrouds towards that objective. So he's miles away from the Night Questor or Neave. And I'll hold both objectives and go up to 8 victory points to the Stormcast 4. So that'll be a Nighthaunt victory, so I'll recap that game for you now. So that was the game for issue 73 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms magazine. How do you think that went?
Well, it was a lot more interesting than it looked like it was going to be after the first couple of turns, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I nearly won, I suppose. I did nearly...
Yeah, you were 1 wound away from winning.
Yeah.
So it was a lot closer than it might have looked.
Yeah, and I guess...
Although, to be fair, if I hadn't forgotten the Night Questor's thingamajig, I probably would have avoided him a bit better.
Yeah, the Night Questor was on form, just charging around, hacking people to pieces. He rolled really well. If he hadn't done that, it would have been a whitewash.
I mean, my plan was to retreat. I probably would have retreated again if I'd won the turn roll up in turn 3. But my plan was to draw you away from the other objective, to go after my heroes. So I could swing the Hexwraith in to take it back. And then I might have charged you at some point to try and slow you down. I was considering it.
Yeah.
And considering how the combat actually went, it might have gone so badly, because I did kill most of your Secretors.
Yeah, unfortunately, when I did finally catch up to you, you actually killed more of my models than I did of you. One of your units of Blade Geist was basically indestructible, and that stopped me getting to your heroes in that turn. And I lost 4 or 5 Secretors doing it, I think. It might have looked like that scenario is desperately unfair for the Stormcasts, based on what happened at the beginning, and obviously if you'd won the turn roll-off in turn 4, you could have just run away again. But the thing is, I could have won that double turn anywhere, like turn 2 or turn 3, and charged you immediately. So if more fighting had happened earlier in the game, it could have been completely different. So it was, unfortunately, just because of the way the turn rolls happened, that it even ended up being like it was.
Yeah. And to be fair, I can also take the Cloak of Mist and Shadows and put that on one of my heroes, so you can just can't fight them in melee.
Yeah, you could put the Cloak of Mist and Shadows on your general, technically, and just retreat at the beginning of every combat phase, and I'd never ever be able to damage it.
Or have taken one of my 2 choice heroes as well. definitely more dangerous than the Knight of Shrouds, and reduces the number of victory points you could possibly get as well.
Yeah.
Eve is basically a hero blender.
Yeah. The Night Questor was better against heroes than her in this game, but that's only because he had the Relic Sword and rolled, I think, all the wounds on all his attacks all the time.
Because I would actually probably say that she's better at hero hunting than he is.
She's faster, she gets the extra attack for charging. 8 attacks at 10 damage.
Has an extra wound as well. No re-rolling saves, but I think the idea is you're meant to obliterate whatever you kill, whatever she attacks first. And she's got her Ride the Winds Etheric, which might have actually been useful in here. I mean, if you taken her with a Lord Arcanum, probably could have actually taken swooped off to take one of the objectives to try and cut me off with 2 dangerous heroes.
Yeah, it's possible. By having to deny you objectives and also kill stuff, I was sort of forced into having a slow, powerful army like this one rather than a fast one.
Yeah, and I think that since this is basically the mirror match of the one from issue 70, I think it definitely plays more into my strengths. If I can just flee and you never catch me.
But the fact is, you got the first turn, took the objectives, and then you were gaining victory points until I could do something about it. And with the Hex Wraiths to run interference and stop me taking one of the objectives away from you, the only tactic left to me was do that. If I'd split my army in half, you probably would have actually attacked me.
Yeah, I would have gone after if you'd split your army in half.
Yeah. So that wasn't an option. Your Blade Guys are 3 inches faster than most of my infantry, so you can just keep your distance without much difficulty. And the Fast Riders did quite well, actually. They're not the most competitive choice because there are only 3 of them, but they did a bit of damage for shooting and somehow survived a whole unit of Blade Guys.
I mean, I suppose it might be tempting to take the Ballista and just fire single shots. I wonder if that would work if you had 2. Just snipe the general.
Yeah.
That's still hitting on 4s, even with Lookout Sir, so...
I didn't have the Lord Ordinator in my options for this game, though. Otherwise I could have definitely taken the double Ballista on him.
I suppose we should talk a little bit more about Niamh. We did say she's a hero blender, and she's obviously good value for money because she's a single hero model, so it would be pretty good value for money. And you do have the option to run her as a generic Knight. Zephyros, that's the one, who is fairly similar, I guess, just not a Warhammer Sigmar model.
Yeah, I think you just put the helmet on and that counts as the same thing, essentially. I think it's just slightly worse. She's just a slightly better version of the generic one. She's also pretty good against units. Charging with 8 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, it's still pretty good. Certainly against a non-combat unit, she can do a fair bit of damage. Obviously, her ability to follow things riding the winds Etheric does play better into a sort of Vanguard Stormcast army because, for example, you can get the Griff Charger Cavalry who can also do that, so she can effectively just keep up with the cavalry. That's what it achieves. I've actually been looking forward to using that model because she has a purpose and she's good at it. A lot of the Stormcast models that we get with this magazine, like for example, things like units of Liberators, they just don't really do anything. Yeah. They just stand there and die. They don't do any damage in return.
There's only one hero choice as well, so it's a flexible option that isn't just another wizard as well. Because you've got plenty of things like the Lord Relictor and wizards and stuff, but you actually have like a frontline, one hero choice combatant, except the Night Questor, who kind of against normal units.
Yeah, he's only got 4 attacks. He's good if you give him the Relic Blade, but...
And I think before that, it must have been quite a while. You had Astrea Soulbright, and before that was the Dracolines? It was a really long time before we had anything that was just one choice, so... But otherwise, I don't think there's too much more to say about this game, or this issue, or Niamh herself. So as always, if you do like this content, do leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any comments on Neave Blacktalon, or if you play this game, tell us how you got on. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.